What's up, everybody? Hope you're having a good Friday. Justin here. Or, not Friday, it's Saturday. Anyways, this is a new countdown. And I'm pretty excited to do this show. Now, some of these on the countdown could be, maybe, repeats of an old countdown episode I did of the top 10 biggest fails in WCW. Some of these might be on there. I don't remember if they are. I don't know if they are. And I didn't feel like watching myself. I didn't feel like watching my old show to find out. So this is New Countdown Top 5 WCW Fails Part 2. Part 2. Because there's even more. I did a top 10 WCW fails. This is a top 5, and there was a ton of really dumb, bad decisions that killed that company and really hurt it. Not all the decisions killed it, but just really hurt it big time. Damaged it big time, where they could never come back and get their fans back or be a competitor to WWE. Even though they had Ted Turner and they had all his money basically available to them. They had Ted Turner's checkbook. The guy had probably billions of dollars when he bought WCW. Because remember, Ted Turner, the guy started CNN. I'm sure he made a ton of money off that. And the guy put tons and tons of money into WCW, made it better production value. And they did get better in their production value. But still, with all the billions or whatever it cost, I don't know how much money Ted Turner put into WCW. The guy probably put in like $400 or $500 million. Or probably lost that. Anyways, with Ted Turner's checkbook, they should have been able to be a real competitor for like at least 5 or 10 years. But no, because of the head of creative or the head booker, or just really dumb booking decisions, god-awful finishes. And Vince Russo, in my opinion, he really killed WCW. He really killed it. I mean, when he got there, they already had their throats slit and they're bleeding out. But Vince Russo, not Ted Turner. Because if it wasn't for Ted Turner, I'm not going to bash him. If it wasn't for Ted Turner, there would be no WCW. Or there wouldn't have been for so long. But Vince Russo, when he got there, they were already bleeding out. Almost on life support. But Vince Russo. Vince Russo, when he got there, Russo took a stake, drived it in the heart of the WCW fan base and killed that company and basically told all their fans, F you, I don't care about you, and I'm going to do whatever the hell I want. Really dumb. I wish they never brought in Vince Russo. So number 5, this is the top 5 WCW fails part 2. If some of these are repeats from my first show I think I did it last May, or May 2016 maybe. I know one of the fails, I believe on my top 10, was the Chamber of Horrors. That was horrific to watch. It was funny, but it was a bad match. So here we go, part 2. Number 5. the Oklahoma gimmick that Ed Ferrara played, the Oklahoma character. I don't think he thought he wasn't playing a character. In my opinion, he was blatantly making fun of Jim Ross. Making fun of that he had a health condition, a serious health condition. The guy had Bell's palsy twice in his life. It's an awful disease where your face on one side could be frozen and you can't move it. Well, JR had that twice. Had Bell's palsy twice. The guy still returned, came back to work because Jim Ross loves the business. That's why he returned. He loves pro wrestling. He loves what he does. Being one of the best play-by-play men ever. So Ed Ferrara. Number 5 is his Oklahoma character. I hated it. It was disgusting what he was doing. How he was acting like JR. It was just so wrong. Made me want to vomit. Made me want to beat his ass if I ever saw him. Made me want to punch him in the face. Made me want to spit on him. Made me want to kick him in the balls. Made me want to push him off a roof. Made me want to do a lot of things to Ed Ferrara. You are scum, Ed Ferrara, for the rest of your life. I don't care if you're a changed man. I don't care if you found Jesus. I don't give a rat's ass if you're born again. If I ever see you, I will spit in your face. And maybe punch you in the face and go to jail. But it'd be worth it. Because you're scum. You did not belong in wrestling. In my opinion, you probably did nothing in WWF to help the Attitude Era. The Attitude Era didn't need a head writer like Russo or Ed Ferrara. It didn't need you guys. All it needed was Vince McMahon, Mr. McMahon, and Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's all the Attitude Era needed. And it would have been a success no matter what. So Ed Ferrara is number 5 for playing Oklahoma. F you, you fat, ugly son of a bitch, rad bastard, disrespectful asshole that never belonged in pro wrestling. And I hope the karma catches up to you, Ed Ferrara. I hope karma catches up to you for what you did, making fun of JR. How dare you? And I don't know if Ed Ferrara's apologized to JR. I don't care if he's apologized. He's still scum. And never deserves to work in wrestling again. So I just F you, Ed Ferrara, F you, Vince Russo also. Because you could have probably stopped that Oklahoma character, but you probably thought it was funny. And you probably enjoyed it. And you're also scum. Bro, you're scum, bro. I don't know who in the fuck would listen to your stupid podcast. I never would. Because you suck, Russo. And I can't imagine you have a fan base. That's unbelievable. Whoever is a fan of yours is a dumbass. Number 4. I went off on a rant because I really hated the Oklahoma character, and that's for you, Ed Ferrara, and for you, Russo. Number 4. I gotta calm down a bit because I'm pissed thinking about Oklahoma character. I hated it, and that was one of the biggest fails in WCW. That's why it's number 5. There's a lot more fails to come. Number 4. WCW, especially in the year 2000. Number 4 is WCW killing their World Heavyweight Championship. Basically throwing it in the trash, not giving a rat's ass about it. First off, Russo, because I'm sure he booked it, he booked David Arquette to win the world title. Bad idea. bad idea. I'll never get over that. And you deserve to be made fun of, and you deserve to be ripped and bashed forever, Russo, for making Arquette the world champion at one point. I don't care if it was for a week. It was still asinine and disrespectful and just god-awful. Bad decision. Should have never happened. So you killed the WCW world title. In 2000, the WCW Russo, you killed it. You had David Arquette win the world title. You had yourself win the world title. Vince Russo, I believe, was WCW champion at one point. Might have been for only one Nitro or something, but I believe he was, because I remember him carrying around the world title, and he had to defend it in a triple steel cage match on Nitro. I believe they tried to call it War Games 2000. It was not War Games. It was stupid. So Russo, you killed the world title in 2000. You gave it to David Arquette and yourself. And Jeff Jarrett. Should have never got a run, but you gave it to him, bro, just because he's your friend. Jeff Jarrett now, thankfully, has dropped your ass as a friend. Because he probably saw your true colors. So another thing, another fail that deserves a mention, another fail WCW did was in 1999. They got rid of the TV title. And Scott Hall was a TV champion, I believe, on a WCW, I don't know where it was. I think it's on a Nitro. But Scott Hall was a TV champion. He has a belt. He throws it in the trash. He threw it in a trash can. Really dumb. Really disrespectful. That was a major fail on WCW's part. Whoever was booking, that was dumb. It was probably Russo that agreed, yeah, let's throw the TV title in the trash, bro, because that's a great idea. So Scott Hall throws the TV title in the trash. I don't blame Scott Hall. I'm sure he was told to do it by someone else. But that was really stupid. And that hurt WCW. That was a slap in the face to all the former great TV champions like Great Muta, Sting, Mike Rotundo, Arn Anderson, Steve Austin, William Regal, or Steven Regal, all great TV champions. That was like a slap in the face to them, and a slap in the face to the fans. And then, after he throws the TV title in the trash on an episode of Saturday Night, Hacksaw Jim Duggan working as a janitor gimmick, that was beyond stupid. It's probably Russo's idea, bro. Let's make Hacksaw Jim Duggan a damn janitor. Now, Hacksaw Jim Duggan was never my favorite wrestler ever, but I actually like the guy. And I respect him for the time he's put into the business. The guy was pretty damn over with his American flag 2x4 gimmick. He was pretty damn over in the 80s and in the part of the 90s. I'll tell you one thing, everybody, not just me, but everybody should respect Hacksaw Jim Duggan more than Russo. So, oh my God, they made Hacksaw Jim Duggan a fucking janitor. They put a janitor suit on him. It was pathetic. That was a slap in the face to Hacksaw, in my opinion. Because he didn't deserve to be playing a damn janitor. That was really mental. And then in 2000, you made him join Team Canada. That was really stupid also. Russo, you're the dumbest man on earth. Probably the dumbest man ever in wrestling. You might be worse than Jim Herd. With your crazy, stupid ideas you've had. And the ideas you've done are probably worse than Jim Herd. And Jim Herd came up with the fucking ding-dongs. But Jim Herd, I don't think he's as stupid as Russo. He had no business in wrestling. The guy's a Pizza Hut executive. And then he became the president of WCW. That was ridiculous. But I swear Jim Herd was probably smarter than Russo. And Jim Herd didn't know jack shit about wrestling or how to run a company. And Russo could never run a company. He tried. And he failed when he was in WCW. And they went under because of him. Not just because of all the money they lost. They went under because of him. And I don't know if I'm right. I mean, that's probably not true that Russo put them out of business, but I like to blame him for it. Because he deserves to be blamed for it. So, Jim Duggan is a janitor. A fucking janitor. Finds a TV title, takes out of the trash, and then started defending it. I didn't watch Saturday Night, really, in 99 or 2000, but he started defending the TV title, I believe, on Saturday night, every week or something. So number 3 of this top 5 WCW fails. Basically, this whole show is going to be bashing Vince Russo, because he deserves it, bro. Number 3. Oh, this was god-awful. This was so bad. I believe Hogan had something to do with this. He had to. Because he brought in one of his best friends, Brutus Beefcake. Brought him into WCW in 94. He was supposedly he was under the mask, and he kept attacking Hogan with a pipe. And the mask got pulled off, and it was revealed to be Brutus Beefcake, and Hogan looked shocked. And I guess the fans did too, but in 94, nobody gave a rat's ass about seeing Hogan versus Beefcake. I did not care. I was way more into WWF in 94 anyway. Number 3, biggest fail in WCW. Number 3 is Hulk Hogan against Brutus Beefcake. I believe his name was the Butcher. The guy had 1,000 different gimmicks. I don't care to name them all, but they were all god-awful. And Brutus Beefcake was a bad worker. In my opinion, Hogan was actually better than him. And Hogan had 1,000,000 times more charisma than Brutus could ever have. Brutus sucked. I swear to you, Brutus sucked. And Hogan might have done the same match over and over, but the guy's a better worker, more entertaining than Brutus ever was. And Hogan actually respects the business, because the guy got broke into the business by Hiro Matsuda, who broke his leg and told him go home. And Hogan came back and trained. Beefcake, you were only in the business, only successful because Hogan was your friend. And you used him. And you rode his back for probably 25 years or longer. Please don't ever, WWE, please don't ever put Brutus in the Hall of Fame. But they will, because they put in Koko Beware. Nothing against Koko Beware. The guy is a pretty good wrestler. Pretty entertaining. I loved Frankie, the Bird, when I was a kid, but sadly, if you don't know this, I'm still not over this. Frankie, the original Frankie, passed away in a fire. That's what I heard. I believe it's true, and that sucks. But Koko Beware deserves to be in the Hall of Fame more than Brutus Beefcake, because Koko had charisma, and Koko Beware could actually work. Brutus could not. So Hogan against the Butcher at Starrcade 94 as the main event was a huge fail. bad main event, no one cared. Number two biggest fail. WCW hiring Tank Abbott, former UFC fighter. They tried to call him a pit fighter as his discipline. I don't know what the hell a pit fighter is. It doesn't exist. The guy is a bar fighter, street fighter. That's all he was. I don't know how Tank Abbott won any fights, but he did. The guy had good punching power, but he would get blown up in a lot of fights. The guy had bad cardio, would get blown up, would get super tired, like he was about to fall over, have a heart attack, pass out. But if you watch UFC 6, I have it on DVD, but if you've seen UFC 6, Tank Abbott knocked that guy out cold. Anyways, number two is WCW hiring Tank Abbott. It was a god-awful idea. God-awful idea. I don't believe Tank Abbott ever cared about pro wrestling. I don't think he ever loved the business. He was just there for a paycheck. The guy on TV never... I guess he tried to be good at his job when he tried to join 3 Count. That was pretty funny. But the guy didn't take any bumps at all. Really. His entire WCW career, the guy probably got knocked down like 3-4 times. The guy didn't want to take bumps. The guy didn't know how to wrestle. The guy didn't care how to wrestle. The guy was just there to collect a big paycheck. And I don't know who brought him in, bro, but it's probably Vince Russo. Embarrassing. Tank Abbott. I have nothing against him as a person. I didn't hate him in wrestling, but the guy was a fail. A giant fail. He didn't care like he wanted to learn how to wrestle. He didn't care like he wanted to be in wrestling. Pathetic that they brought him in. And I'm going to blame Vince Russo because he probably brought him in. Or he suggested they hire him. Let's see here. Let's compare. WWF had Ken Shamrock. Great worker. Fantastic wrestler. Great pro wrestler. Ken Shamrock. That guy deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. WWF had Ken Shamrock. And Vince Russo thought, let's get Tank Abbott because WWF has Ken Shamrock. Giant fail. Number 2, Tank Abbott. And the guy's barely around. Like February, January 2000 till like August, September, and then he's gone. He never appeared again on TV. He was not around, especially by Halloween Havoc 2000 or Starrcade 2000. He was gone off TV. So that was a giant fail, and you probably signed him for 2 or 3 years, and he probably had a guaranteed contract. And when WCW went under, Tank Abbott probably got a huge payday to sit home because you were really stupid. WCW, you should have never listened to Vince Russo. Number 1, biggest fail. Now this is part 2 of WCW's biggest fails. Number 1 is Jay Leno, the Tonight Show host. Former Tonight Show host. You brought him in 98 because you thought it was a good idea. Bischoff has said he still doesn't regret it. Well, you should, Bischoff. And Eric Bischoff, guy had a great mind. The guy made WCW a profit. And he did a lot of great things. I respect Eric Bischoff. I like Eric Bischoff. Bischoff is not Russo. He's a million times smarter. But Eric Bischoff thought it was a good idea. Let's bring in Jay Leno to wrestle at a pay-per-view. I think it's a main event. Maybe I'm wrong, but it might have been. I haven't watched that pay-per-view in like 10, 15, 20 years. WCW Road Wild 98. You thought it was a good idea to bring in Jay Leno to wrestle on pay-per-view with Diamond Dallas Page. I guess Jay Leno had some training, but not. The guy didn't take one bump, I don't think. The guy came in with a damn t-shirt on. It was pathetic. Everything Jay Leno did looked like trash. The guy couldn't throw working punches. He couldn't throw kicks. Couldn't do anything good. Everything he did looked just pathetic. And it was a slap in the face to the business. It was god-awful. Now, the match Jay Leno was in, thank God it was a tag match. Because that guy could never survive in a singles match. But now that I think of it, Jay Leno's match was not the worst match in WCW history. That goes to Warrior and Hogan at Halloween Havoc 98. That was a mess. That was worse than Jay Leno, but I think I already listed Hogan Warrior as part of my Part 1 WCW fails. I hated it. I hated the idea when I heard Jay Leno was coming in. I absolutely hated it. Thank God I watched WWF way more than WCW at the time. Thank God I didn't try to order Road Wild or watch it at a friend's. I didn't care. I didn't care. And bringing in Jay Leno, I throw my hand. I don't know what to say. I throw my hands up. I give in because there was no reason to bring in Jay Leno. It was a disgrace and an embarrassment. To me as a fan, it was an embarrassment to see Jay Leno in a ring. First off, I think the guy sucks. And sucked as a Tonight Show host. He's probably a good comedian, stand-up. He's probably good, probably funny. I heard he was really good in the 80s as a stand-up. But I don't know how he is now. First off, you sucked on the Tonight Show. And yes, it gave WCW a lot of mainstream media coverage that Jay Leno was being on a pay-per-view, and that Bischoff and Hogan appeared on the Tonight Show. That was pretty cool. But having Jay Leno wrestle on pay-per-view was an embarrassment. Jay Leno as a Tonight Show host was an embarrassment. The guy was not funny ever. In my opinion, he never made me laugh. I would always watch Conan over Jay Leno, Dave Letterman over Jay Leno. Hell, I don't even like Jimmy Fallon. I don't think he's funny, and I don't watch him. But I would even watch Jimmy Fallon over Jay Leno, because Leno sucked and was not funny ever. Maybe he's a good stand-up comedian. I heard he is, but Tonight Show host, his stupid jokes he did on there, not funny. Jay Leno is a hack. And I stand by that. Conan's funnier. Letterman's funnier, Colbert's funnier, Kimmel's funnier, Seth Meyers is funnier. Johnny Carson, let's dig up his corpse. He's probably funnier dead, more funnier dead than Jay Leno is alive. So this ends my countdown, top 5 WCW biggest fails, part 2. I had a lot of fun. I got fired up. And I'm pretty angry. Fuck you, Vince Russo. Because you deserve to be told that by every fan. Bye for now.